How's everybody doing today? I thought I'd take a second and show you what I did with this 365 I've been working on in the shop. I had such good luck with that 357 with the tune and the mild port and the pipe that it just had to grab my other saw. It made that much of a difference. It really did. The 365 is an older saw. It hasn't got many miles on it. Let's put it that way. We've used it for bucking firewood. Basically, one owner, it's us, but I wanted to give it a little more whomp. And the easiest way to do that is with a muffler mod, in my opinion anyway. The cheapest way. I was going to build a pipe for this saw, but the OEM exhaust on this is fairly open. It's just really restricted. In the inside is really open. Like there was no baffles in the inside. It's just on the top here. It had a little 3/8 hole on the top with the spark arrestor in the top. So what I did was I had a piece of pipe and I just used 1 inch. As you can see, sorry, I suck at this, but bear with me. 1 inch pipe. I cut it on a 45-degree angle. Let me get you around here. So it would come off to the side like I did the buck barker pipe. I welded that on in place first, and then I drilled the hole out. So as you can see, sorry guys for the shakiness, but you'll understand. I don't know if you can see up in there or not, or can we see? Yeah, okay. So the pipe, it's a straight shoot out, but it has to hit, to get some back pressure, it has to hit the front of this can first. And when it does, it'll do its thing in the expansion chamber and come out. Is it perfect? No. Does it make a difference? Yes, it does. In my opinion, in the seat of the pants, what they call, when you squeeze the trigger and you put it in the wood, you can feel the pull difference. There's no question you can feel the pull difference, or I can. Anyways, and that comes with a tune. You can't just throw that on, and it will make a difference for sure. But you've got to tune your saw accordingly. You've got to knock the limiters off. I may take a time and do a video on it, but there's 24 videos on how to remove the limiters on these saws and get at your high and low jet and get this thing set perfectly where you want it. You also should have a tack. I have one coming. I always used to do them by ear and by plug, the way the plug looked and how it sounded, how it four-stroked. You want good color on your plug still. You don't want a white plug. White plug, you're leaning it out and you're going to lose your saw. Tan brown is where I try to stick on a two-stroke. Black, of course, is way rich. I'll give you a quick tip. What I do is once I get the limiters off, I will seat the high and low jet. First off, you count how many turns that are going, from the factory, count them, mark them down, how many turns in each jet goes. Mark it down so you have a base reference of where you started. Secondly, I will seat them all the way, lightly seat them into the carburetor, and then I start 1 turn out on the low and 1 turn out on the high. And I start right there, and that's going to give you basically a good base to start from, to keep your saw where it needs to be. And from there, you can tack tune it and get your RPM set at your high and your low idle. And of course, get your throttle set where it needs to be. You know, you don't want your chain rotating while it's sitting there idling. So just a few tips that I do. Is it the right way? No, it's just the way I've learned to do it. And I've had decent luck with it so far. So I'm just going to put this pipe back on. The reason I took it off was I wanted to show you what I did with this pipe. Factory pipe again, like I say. I call it like a sleeper pipe. The guys in West Coast, Donnie Walker, all those guys, you watch those guys. Donnie Walker, Buck and Billy Ray, the Tin Man, Iron Horse, all those guys, experienced guys, know what they're talking about. They've been around the block. They've done this stuff. They've tore them up. They've rebuilt them, and they make things work. And the information's there, and you can get it. It's the time of trying to get by just doing it yourself and hoping it works are gone. Like, utilize the information out there and utilize these guys that I just explained to you, that will give you the information you need, and break it down so you can actually understand what they're talking about. So everyone was always scared to, don't touch your high-low jets. That's the way I grew up. Oh, don't mess with anything. You need to tune your saw for the conditions that you're in, whether it's minus 20 outside or plus 20 outside. Your saw is not going to run at its optimum performance if you don't know how to tune your saw. Look at your plug readings. Look at what's it's showing you. It just makes bucking fun again, like legitimately fun again. And when you tune one of these pipes and you run one of these saws that are tuned and piped, you will never, ever, ever go back to a stock saw, in my opinion. Again, it just makes it that much more fun. Throttle response for limbing is unreal, the difference. That 357, we have the identical one stock, and it's pulling a 16-inch bar, the stock one. That 357 XP makes that stock saw feel like a pop, a Poulan. I hate to say it, nothing wrong with Poulan, I'm not saying that. But it feels like it's not even in the same playing field. So I just wanted to do a quick, I don't do videos, I'm no good at them, but I try to get one out when I can. It's not that I'm no good at them, it's hard to do it. I understand, I have respect for you people that do these videos full time. It's a lot of work. So just a quick cap, stock exhaust, the outlet was on the top. All I did, I set my machine, your welders will vary. I just used I used a 1/8-inch wall pipe. I set my welder at roughly 16 gauge thickness, melted the thick into the thin. It actually went better than I thought. I tapped the top existing port shut with a hammer lightly and just welded it up. It was that simple. It really was. And then I ported the exhaust to match inside. So and make sure you clean that pipe out like it owes you something, because it'll ruin your saw. If there's any, because intake and exhaust will suck. That's how they get their charge. You know that by 2 strokes. They will suck the particles that are in that right back into the intake. Not the intake, sorry. They'll suck it back on the exhaust port, and you will score your piston and ruin your saw. So make sure that is blown out better than what you think it needs. Just rule of thumb. You don't want to ruin a good thing. We're trying to make a good thing just a little bit more better. A little bit more crisp, let's say. Not a little bit more better. It works to be a lot better, trust me. So anyway, I won't rant any longer. I just wanted to do a quick little video and show you. It honestly is wild how this thing sounds. It honestly makes that one sound stock, and that 357 has got some snap. It's got some good bark. But I went with a bigger port because this is a bigger saw. So I wanted to let a little more air out. Anyway, hope all is well. Try some things, guys. Seriously, don't be afraid to try this stuff. It's not rocket science. It's fun. It really is fun. And when you squeeze the trigger after you do that, and you hear that, and you watch the difference in your saw, you'll understand. You'll understand. All right, we'll talk to you after. God bless you. Stay safe.